Alright, we're back with a chapter review. This chapter, One Piece 1064, Egghead's Research Stratum. This was a great chapter. It picked up right where we left off with our big fight. Again, spoiler warnings. If you're watching this, just go read the chapter if you haven't read it and come back. Or just watch it and enjoy the spoilers for what they are, and then you can enjoy it on your own terms. I'm not your boss. And if you're watching this for the first time and like what you see, like and subscribe. We really want to get those subscriber numbers up, so help us out. Alright, Egghead's Research Stratum. Stratum meaning level. So basically, it's symbolizing that they're about to go to the level where we're about to learn a lot more about the research on Egghead's Island. Now, we start off this chapter with a great cover page. We see Van Augur and Aokiji standing victoriously over pudding, and you got the crew celebrating in the background. I'm still not thinking that Aokiji's totally bought in. I know some people online are saying that Aokiji is the 10th member of the Blackbeard Pirates, but I'm not feeling it. Honestly, I also feel like his outfit is kind of like a clue, and maybe I'm just overthinking this, but like before, when he stopped Doflamingo from killing Smoker, what he was wearing was a black shirt and a white overcoat, and now he's wearing a black overcoat with a white shirt. And I may be overthinking this, but it just shows me that he's still pure on the inside while he's covering himself in darkness for this meeting. But this may not be anything at all. It may just be what he decided to wear. He's also dressed like Van Augur, kind of. They have that same cape. Van Augur is wearing white underneath, or a light color underneath. So it also got me thinking, and this is just me being curious, is somebody else on the crew gonna backstab Blackbeard? I mean, pirates are supposed to stab people in the back. Blackbeard's not a very nice guy, especially to his crew. What is in it for the crew members? And Van Augur, he could be the dude. You know, he's just a really good shot. I mean, he doesn't really seem to be super evil. I mean, honestly, none of them do besides like Jesus Burgess and maybe the Doctor. He seems pretty bad. And okay, the ones he got from Impel Down are pretty bad, but you know, this Van Augur guy, he might be a good guy. Who knows? We pick up right where we left off, like I said, with this great fight. This is pretty exciting because we get to see Law back at it fighting Blackbeard, and it was looking pretty bleak, but I had hope, and he has shown me why right here. He's putting in work, and his crew is putting in work too. They're no slouches. And it also, this fight also shows me what I want to see more of in One Piece. The combat at sea. Like it really tells you why Law chose the crew members that he chose. If I'm not mistaken, one dude is a fish man because he was spitting out water like super hard. That's not normal. No normal person can do that. So he's got to be a fish man, right? Yeah, he's definitely got to be a fish man. This wouldn't make any sense for him to be doing the thing that he's doing. He's like swallowing in the water and then spitting it out at such a great force, and then it stops those apples from hitting them that Doc Q had thrown, those exploding apples. And that was like super far outside the water. And as far as I'm understanding, I'm gonna go back and just double check. It is looking like, yeah, he is in the water. So that is a fish man for sure. So let me know in the comments if y'all think he's a fishman. I mean, he's got to be, right? And so that's pretty cool. Law's got a fishman on his crew. He's got all kinds of people on his crew, and they all have a certain skill. And we also see Jean Bart. It looked like he just teleported, but I'm sure he just got there really fast to protect Law's back while he's facing Blackbeard, because he can't take his eyes off Blackbeard. And even Van Augur is impressed. And Van Augur also shows his ability to teleport himself after, you know, the amputate ability and Shock Willie got Blackbeard, which was pretty devastating. And man, that's gotta hurt Blackbeard since he takes extra damage because of his devil fruit. Didn't look very nice. So he teleported himself to Blackbeard and then teleported Blackbeard away, while I'm assuming he teleported himself to the ship. And that's pretty badass. Just imagine dealing with a sniper. Like, imagine in a video game, you got a sniper and he misses, which Van Augur wouldn't miss. he misses, and then he teleports somewhere else. So you can't even track the guy down. I'm sure he can infuse hockey into his bullets, so those bullets would be deadly to Devil Fruit users. Van Augur is looking like a threat. Moving forward, we see more of the combat, and the crew on Blackbeard's ship are just talking shit to Pudding, who's imprisoned, saying that, oh, Commodore's the strongest around. Yeah, there's nobody who's going to be able to beat him. These guys are, about to get wiped out. And she is like, you guys are underestimating him. This guy is the one who took out Big Mom, and yeah, you gotta watch out for that. And I'm with you, Pudding. You gotta watch out. Law is no slouch, even though he does run out of energy pretty fast. Right at the end of this little fight, it looks like Blackbeard has caught his sword or his ability and is using Black Vortex on him. So we'll see. We'll probably go to the next chapter. There's a break next week, but the chapter after we return from the break, it'll probably be him defeated. This could be some bullshit. That would piss me off. I hope they could just continue this fight and we can kind of see it in the background as we're learning about what's going on Egghead Island. There's a cutaway to Akainu, who's complaining that he's not made contact with Winter Island. So maybe there's somebody either close to Winter Island or on Winter Island that he is looking to communicate with. But he shows his frustration of being kind of tied down by the rules of engagement of the admiral, and as an admiral rather. And yeah, it makes me think, of all of this, everything in this chapter, this could have just been left out, but the fact that it's included here makes me think that maybe this is foreshadowing him stepping outside of the boundaries of what a marine or an admiral would normally do. So this might be setting up a conflict in the future where Akainu is breaking rank or going against the rules of engagement and just breaking all the rules basically, and kind of going rogue, going after some pirates and maybe killing a few too. One thing I didn't mention in the previous fight is I want to see more of the ship combat in this. Trafalgar Law said something to Blackbeard about all of his crew members having devil fruits, and says, that's kind of gotta suck having all of those anchors on your team. Meaning, of course, the fact that they can't swim and they would need to be rescued. And he laughs it off like it's not a big deal. He was like, they're called devil fruits for a reason. This trade-off is well worth it. And as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, nobody has just died from just falling in the water. And all of the 1064 chapters of One Piece, nobody has fallen into the water and just not been recovered. We've seen water devastate them before or become an issue, like with Luffy or with other crew members, or definitely, even just recently when they almost fell in the water trying to rescue Bonney, they had to be rescued by Jinbei, but everybody always just gets rescued. I want to see people, this sounds pretty demented.
I want to see them die
because nobody's able to get to them. Or some fishmen or a group of fishmen just wipe out all of these ships and there's really no place for them to go, and we just lose some people because they're in the water with no ship. This is a reality of this world that we're not really getting to see a lot. They really made a big deal that you can't swim, but so far it hasn't really been a consequence for anybody. It's kind of been about an annoyance or a story beat. After this, we get back to Egghead Island. We touch back in with Luffy and Chopper and Bonney and Jinbei and the Pacifista, which has stopped chasing after them, and they are all aged. Luffy is super old, Bonney is super young, Chopper is super old, Jinbei is super young, looking all cute. Look at him. Oh my god. Anywho, and they just start talking. They apologize for attacking the Pacifista, and Bonnie understands that it's not her dad for real, but it still kind of sucks. And they're just kind of talking over what just happened. And Jinbei comes out and explains that the Kuma that he knows was not a pretty nice dude. He even has this image of Kuma that is pretty terrifying, like the tyrant that I would imagine if I just heard him being called a tyrant before seeing him. And she argues back and says, he was not a tyrant, as she swipes the the laser sword that she found in the trash heap. So this perfectly awesome laser sword that would be amazing in anybody's hand is just thrown in the trash on this island. It's pretty cool. And yeah, he just talks about, you know, her dad being a very special race and just not being a tyrant. And it just leaves some questions. What race is he? We're gonna find out. Honestly, there's so many races in this world, and there may be races that we don't even know about, so I'm not going to speculate on what he could be. He could be anything. He could be a giant, maybe a half giant. I don't know. Maybe he's a Lunarian too with no wings. I don't know. But we move on quickly from that, and we touch back with the rest of the Straw Hats on this and the Sunny, who are being flown into the upper levels, the upper stratum of the Vegapunk's island, and they get to see below them the city where Luffy and them are at, and they get to see a lot more of the island and learn about what they can do. And they learn that he has created his own sky island in the island, which is pretty cool. And Nami even mentions that she can't do that, or at least I thought that was Nami's little speech bubble there, which got me thinking maybe Nami's gonna learn a couple of things from Vegapunk too. And we also see their new costumes, because of course they have to dress the part, and they're gonna go and apparently see Vegapunk himself. And this is very exciting. We're like this close to actually seeing the real Vegapunk, or at least I hope. And the people that are going are pretty interesting too, because they all have something to do with technology or science. And of course, Robin is there, just the scholar who would love to learn all of this. And Brooks and Zoro, who have no interest in these things, kind of stay behind and watch the ship. So I'm excited to see what level up. At first I just thought, oh, this is going to be a Frankie level up arc. But this may be a Frankie level up arc. This may be a Nami level up arc. This may be a Sanji level up arc. This may be a Usopp level up arc. Maybe he gets some ridiculous tools and gadgets to help him out for the next major battle that they're going to get into. So they get their cool suits. They look fantastic, except for Frankie, who looks kind of like a big crab. I don't know what it is. It either looks like one of those little spinny things for the old toys, or it looks like eyeballs on top of a crab. And the color panel that somebody did below is red, so it just makes it look like a crab. It's just hilarious. And the last three panels we see, or the last three sections we see, is Vegapunk talking to Dragon, explaining that it sucks being a genius because you get to know your future, and he will die soon. Or at least he says, I think I'll be dead soon. And Dragon's like, ah, what are you talking about? Don't worry about that. And he's like, I just wanted to let you know about this, Dragon. And it's pretty cool. Also, Vegapunk looks exactly like Daft Punk. Oda knew exactly what he was doing there, and maybe that's what he planned from the beginning. Vegapunk, Daft Punk. Maybe he just had that in his head from the get-go. But I think it looks pretty badass. I'm sure under there he's like an old man underneath that helmet. Or maybe he'll never take it off, and that'll be cool too. But yeah, I love this chapter, and we're on break next week, so this is a really cool chapter to end off on, because I want to see the end of the Blackbeard fight. I want to see where the Marines are going to come in. We still got to see these CP0 coming to the island with the Kuma Seraphim. We got to see what that's going to be like. We got the Straw Hats split up like always. We got the fun ones, my favorite group, Luffy, Bonney, Chopper, and Jinbei on the bottom level, causing havoc. And on the top level, you have the people, the adults, more or less, the adults who are going to go talk with Vegapunk. So we're about to get some good exposition. We're about to have some fun times. And we get to see the end of an awesome fight. It's already been an awesome fight. Law versus Blackbeard, and Law's crew really stepping it up. Don't sleep on them. Got Fishman, they're executing at a high level for just a regular crew, or who we thought was just a regular crew. So that's it for this chapter. Really have a fun time with you guys. Please let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments below, and like this video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and share with your friends if you want to get them involved in your conversation on this chapter. Peace.